Kick and chase by Mullins. Kick and chase again by Mullins. It'll be a miracle. Oh, it is a miracle. Fafita tries to crash his way over. He does. Fafita got the ball over the line.
Hunter's kick is over the sideline for a 40-20.
Yes, g'day legends and welcome to the 40-20 Sports Podcast. Supercoach 2024 is officially launched. I'm sure everyone's busy trying to cram their teams, cram the numbers, figure out what cheapies to get, figure out the mid-ranges. Last year, didn't have a great year. I think I went way too hard on my centre wings. Seriously lacked all year in front row and in the second row. So I'm going to try and change that. I'm going to try and have a more well-balanced team this year. And fingers crossed, that can sort of sort itself out. So in my hookers, in saying that, I've gone very light. I'm looking at going Jaden Brayley and Joey Lussick. I wanted Harry Grant the most out of anyone. He's got that upside. He did have a couple of low games in the 30s last year, so I've sort of steered away from him. And then it started to filter down. JMK, Wade Egan, Blake Brayley. Not really options that I was looking too hard at, you know. I like Blake Brayley's an 80-minute hooker. I like JMK, but is he going to play 80 minutes? You know, Wayne likes that, you know, that number 14 coming off the bench. And if it's Nikorima, I think he might chew into some minutes. The next guy I was interested in was Reece Robson. Now, he's got a 55-point average. Looking at some numbers, I don't think Jaden Brayley's that far off. Everyone's sort of suggesting that he's going to get 50 to 60 minutes. I don't know if that's the case. He has always been an 80-minute hooker. I can see a world where Phoenix Crossland comes off the bench, eats into some of Adam Elliott's minutes at lock, and then maybe gives Jaden Brayley a 10, 15-minute spell. So I'm looking at Jaden Brayley as more a 65, 70-minute hooker. His points per minute last year were 0.6. If he can get that back up to what it was in 2021, which was 0.8, he's looking at a decent average, roughly the same as what Reece Robson is. So it's a massive gamble. He's injury prone. Everyone knows that. He's had knee injuries, Achilles injuries, but hookers are fucking wasteland. So I'm just going with Brails. Brad Arthur come out and said that he's going to run with one hooker and one hooker only. Last year, they trusted Joey Lussick with 80 minutes, so I think he'll get it over Brendan Hands. Brendan Hands' distribution out of hooker was a little bit off in some games. I remember the game they went to Darwin, he didn't have a great game, you know, he was very sloppy. So I think they trust Joey Lussick with 80 minutes. The trials will see who wins that spot, but for now, I've got Joey Lussick there. Front row, Payne Haas, got to have him. I didn't have him last year, and I could never afford him. I could never get to him. When I could afford him, it was fucking Origin, and I ended up getting Tarpanay. Average 60, 50s, you know, for the rest of the year, and it killed me. I was watching Payne Haas pull out 70s, 80s every week. So every team focuses on their defence at the start of the year. So I think what I'm going to try and do is get the big boys in, get the Payne Haases in, and really push for a good start, because last year I was way off. Second up, I've got Keenan Palacia. He's dual, second row, front row, 365k, bit of a cheapie. Towards the back end of the year at the Broncos, he was playing a fair good minutes. Obviously had to rival Payne Haas a lot with those minutes. Now, there's some talk of Tino going to lock and him and Mo Fotuaika being the starting front rowers. If that happens, I think Palacia will be a gold mine for Supercoaches. So I've got him starting. On our bench, I've got Sam Hughes. Apparently, Gussie Gould's come out, training the house down, backed up by Jacob Carraz. He went on a podcast and said the same thing. He's the fittest bloke in the club. So a 238k, we're going to run with him. Liam Henry from the Penrith Panthers. I think he is more of a shot of getting that bench spot than what Maverick Geyer is. So 238k again, just a cheapie, little smoky that I've got there. Those guys are placeholders. If they don't get a start in round one, I'm happy to ship them out for another cheapie that does get a start. My second row forwards, I'm going to start with the big gun, David Fafita. No one really wants to pay up for him. I haven't seen too many teams where he's in, but 832k is a lot. But David Fafita went on a run of 5 or 6 games where he just constantly battled through 100, like just killed people that didn't have him. A bit quiet during Origin time, which is, expected, but I don't see a world where David Fafita goes backwards under Desi. Like, Desi Hasler's going up to their Titans. He's going to instill that grit that they had at Manly. I think they're going to have that up at the Titans this year. I think they've got a good side. He'll win that left edge. I don't think Bo Fermel's getting that left edge. David Fafita was killing it last year. He was also doing something he'd never done before, which was take the hard runs, take the hard carries. Defense was pretty good. Also, everyone will remember the cutout pass, the Khan Pereira. So I don't think he's going to shift him from that left edge. I think him and Foz will have another combination, another year that they work on their combination. So I've locked him in. I just can't see him going backwards with Des. I think he'll hit the ground running by the first couple of rounds, which does hurt, but I've got enough depth in my second row forward to cover that, I think. Second one up, Sean Lane had a bit of a season hampered by injuries, in and out of the starting squad. 446k. He's the most picked person in Supercoach at the moment, most owned. Combination with Dillbags, I think 100% he's a set and forget. The third one there is Curran at 421,000. Struggled to make that Warriors side last year. Not sure why. He is a gun. There is games, 80-minute games. There's a 73-minute game that I've punged in there as well. But 80-minute games, he's averaging 70 points. When he plays over 60 minutes, he's averaging over 60 points. He's priced at 421k. He's a set and forget. He's going to get that lock spot. They are so short on middles there at the Dogs. It's not funny. Sutton's gone down in the last couple of days as well, so they'll be needing an extra middle forward. I think Josh Curran is in for a big year. My first bench, second rower, is Morgan Smithies. Couple of people saying, there's not a lot of upside with him. He's a tackle run kind of guy. He's a fucking beast is what he is. Set the record at 18 years old for 70-something tackles in 60 minutes in the Super League. At 18 years old, he did that. In the grand final last year, he made 55 tackles in 80 minutes, didn't miss one. He's a guy that is priced at 345k that could do 34 tackles a game with his eyes shut. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs the big fancy offloads. I don't think he needs the tries. He's just going to be a good, safe player. I think he's played 80 minutes for Wigan, week in, week out, won titles with him. He's a winner. I wouldn't be surprised if they move Horsburgh when he's back in round 4 into the front row and leave Smithies there. If he shows all the ticket, Ricky loves that shit. That is pure Canberra Raiders style of football that Ricky's instilled there. And I think he's a must. I think for 345k, I think he's going to be a lot better than what people are making him out to be because they're worried he doesn't have the offload. I don't think he needs it. I don't think he needs the offload at all. I've got Duncan there at 321k. I am not 100% sure that he gets that starting edge role. The talk was he's going to go to the right-hand side and Kalamatangi is going to head off to the left-hand side. Now, the right-hand side is where you want to be in the South Sydney Rabbitohs. That is prime real estate. Whether he gets it or not is another thing. I think Jai Arrow is every chance to start on that side and Tallis Duncan will come off the bench. If that happens, I'll probably have to reevaluate that because, I like Fainu from the Tigers. I think he's going to have a big year as well. But anyway, I'll see. I'll see what happens with Tallis Duncan. and we'll go from there. Last one there is Viliame Fafita. He's a jewel. He's bottom dollar. He's been touted to start, get a debut for the last 2 or 3 years now. So he's just there as a placeholder. Dual position. He could stay there even if he's not named for round one. He's got the big raps on him. Head off to my halves. I am running Nico Hines and Nathan Cleary. I'm not going to stuff around with guessing who is going to be the up-and-comer. I think Nico Hines and Cleary are going to hurt you every single week they run out. They are going to terrify the shit out of you. So I'm not worried about it. Nico Hines, highest point scorer last year. I don't think that'll change. The Sharks have a very easy run. Nathan Cleary, game-proof, management-proof. He could come up against the Broncos like in the grand final. He's every chance of getting 100 every time he takes the field. I'm not risking that. I'm not risking not having them. If I don't have them and I see them in someone else's head-to-head team, I will shit myself. So I'm just having them. 5/8s. I've got deal bags at 780k. I think he's come out and said that he owes the boys a lot for last year. You know, he missed a fair chunk of the year. I think he's going to have an even bigger year than what he did last year. His base stats were up. His running game was on fire. I think he's going to have the big giraffe out there, Shawnee Lane, which is really going to help him. Really going to help him with his attacking stats. Sean Lane, also really good at getting the offload. Dylan Brown, good at backing up. I think he's every chance. My backup 5'8" is KO Weeks. Now, he's every chance of not even getting that spot. He's also every chance of getting you 20 points in 80 minutes. Did a bit of a dive into him because I was very unsure about him. And his 80-minute games, he has scored 24, 29, and 20. There's a 70-minute game of 49 in there, which I'll add into it. But that is based, he's got a 30-point average on games 70 minutes or more. He's priced at 273,000K. He could go nowhere. He could stay. He could stay the same. He could, for the next 6 weeks, he could lose you money. If he goes 20 and 24 in the first 2 rounds, you might be stuck with him. So at the moment he's there, but I'm every chance of getting rid of him. I'm every chance of trading him out for someone else that is a better option. All right, my CTWs, my number one guy. A bit left field, but I've looked at a couple of his stats. I'm going to go Jacob Carraz. 605k. Started last year as the hottest property in CTW that there ever was. After the first 6 games, he was averaging a grand total of 80 points. He'd had 148 in there, and he hadn't gone under 51. He did his knee and got a 6, and then the next couple of games back, he was busted. He was absolutely out on his feet. He was playing on one leg. It hampered his scores massively. 39s, 49s, a 53 and a 36 in there with those clearly injury-affected games. All right? When he came good, at the back end of the year, he was firing 71, 72, 69, 67 in a space of those 5 weeks. He missed a couple of games again at the end of the year, but he's still got a 61 in there and a 43. I think he is the new base stat beast for CTW. I think he is a mould of Brian Toto with, a lot of upside. He didn't score that many tries either. Like looking back on his point, I think he only got 4 or 5 for the year. I'll have a look at it now. So there's only 4 games where he scored tries last year at an average of 60 with injury-affected games. I think he's in for a bigger year. I think the Bulldogs are in for a bigger year. They've got a better side. They'll have more opportunity to play attacking football, and I think Jacob Carraz will pay dividends out of that. My next guy is Dylan Lucas, another dual, 2RF CTW. Huge motor. Some of the games there he was basing 45, 35, 40s in just tackles alone. Whether he plays 80 minutes with Kai Pearce-Paul showing up is another discussion. Not sure, but I like him. He's duals. I think he's got a massive work rate with massive upside. Saw in a couple of games, like against the Sharks last year. Had that huge upside. I think he's a slam dunk. I think he's going to be our little golden gem in CTW that you set and forget. And you probably leave him there all year if he starts on that right-hand edge and doesn't move. My next guy is Taylor May, 458k, coming back, had all last year off with the knee injury. Again, he was phenomenal his first year. Base stats were through the roof. He has got a massive discount on what he was the year before. I think he's going to play right centre. But I can't see him going bad. I can't see him going any worse than 458k. Jack Bostock from the Dolphins, 314k. Tip to have that wing. You'll have the left-hand side. I know they're very right-hand side dominant going down to Sarko's wing, but Wayne's come out and said Bostock's the guy for the left-hand side for now. We roll with that. My bench there for CTWs is just cheapies. We've got Ethan Strange. Every chance he pisses off after round 4 when Sebastian Chris comes back in. I'm not 100% sure that he will be in that team long term, if even first round. So just a bit of a placeholder. I've got Kyle Iro. Again, I don't think he's going to start round 1. He's just a placeholder there. He's dual fullback, CTW. If anyone in that back line goes down, though, he will be the man that jumps up, I think. He had an awesome New South Wales Cup year last year. I think he'll be the guy, if anyone has an injury, I think he'll be the guy that steps up in that back line. Chevy Stewart, another CTW fullback, cheapest chips, 204. I don't know if he gets that spot over Xavier Savage. I'm hoping he does because he's 140-something K cheaper. Again, massive raps on him in New South Wales Cup. The only drama there is Xavier Savage does have experience with fullback. Will Rick pick all these cheapies and all these rookies essentially in the one team for round 1? I'm not sure. He may want a little bit of experience there with Xavier Savage, even though he played one game. Still potential that he could take that spot. Fingers crossed Chevy Stewart gets it, but yeah, just one to keep an eye on. My fullback is the Pong, Kalen Ponga, 892k. Ponga kicking goals and playing fullback at the back end of last year averaged over 100 points a game. This means that Kalen Ponga at 890k is at a discounted rate. I can't see me going any other way. Latrell maybe, but then he's going over to Vegas, playing on that shorter field, as everyone's been saying. 5 metres only shorter, but that'll make all the difference. That's an extra defender. So there's also, it'll be interesting to see how South start the year next year after how they finished it last year. So yeah, I'm going with the Pong. Massive upside. Their draw's pretty good throughout the start of the year. I don't think you can go wrong. He looks fit. On the Knights page. I think he goes to another level. If that spine holds in there and they stay healthy. He's got Frizzy potentially going on that left-hand edge. Other than that, his left-hand edge hasn't changed. He's still got Marzu and Best out there. I think he's in for a massive year. He could be up around $1 million in 5 to 6 weeks. So I think you got to jump on him. Otherwise, he could get away from you and you will never have him. My backup fullback is Jaden Campbell. Not 100% sure on this one either, but he has got the starting fullback role there at the Titans. He's dual 5'8 fullback, so if something happens with KO Weeks, I can always put Campbell up into my 5'8, and that's my plan with that. 456k. he is a live weight. He is rocks and diamonds a little bit as well. He, averaging 450 for 456k. A lot of it was off the bench though as well. A lot of last year he played off the bench. His average was right down until he got a good couple of 80-minute games in him. 80-minute games of 98, 57, 55, 76s. Towards the back end of the year, 95s, 56s, you'd eat them up all day. He had games where he played 19 minutes, 20 minutes, 38 minutes, 8 minutes, so I think he's a slam dunk with Brimo going into the centres. I think some of those games there they are a bit skewed at 80 minutes for him because he was playing 5'8" and doing a bit more defensive stuff for Campbell. He's only a little fella. I think that would have taken a bit out of him attacking-wise, and that's where he gets all his points. All his points come from his attacking prowess. So I'm going to run with him. I'm nervous about it, but I'm going to do it. And yeah, that's it. That's my team for now. Again, a lot of things will change. A lot of cheapies will come in. There'll be injuries. There'll be different stuff going on in the trials. So we'll probably do another one of these a bit closer to round one when we've seen the trials. See who we know has got positions and who doesn't have positions. Yeah, thanks for watching anyway. This is my first go at this. Going to keep tabs on myself this year with how my Supercoach team does. This is just to keep me honest more than anything. Last year I was doing some wild things. Who cares? We'll do this. Doing it on a platform. Hopefully some people get something out of it. And fingers crossed I can improve my overall stat and win my head-to-head. I ended up runner-up last year, which killed me. I ran out of trades like I'm sure nearly everyone did. So yeah, just a little project for me to keep tabs on myself so I don't do stupid shit, basically. All right, thanks for watching, guys.